Hello and welcome. I'm Paisley if you don't know me. Thanks for stopping by and thanks for subscribing if you haven't already. You're going to want to bolster in a blanket for this practice, and we're going to work on opening the lungs and bringing a sense of calm and relief to the chest and the throat, which many of us are struggling with here in the West Coast because of fire. So the first step is going to be to sit in front of the bolster with the blanket at the opposite end as your hips. You're going to have your hips abutting the blanket, or the bolster rather, and then you're simply going to lie back with your buns on the floor and your chest elevated and your head just propped a tiny bit higher than your heart. So you can always adjust that blanket to be higher or lower as you want. And then you can find any position with your legs that feels comfortable to you. And what's important here is, one, that we are lifting and opening the lungs, stretching open the chest in a passive way. So, and I'm probably going to cough during this practice because the smoke has been really getting to me. But if we try to just take a lot of really deep breaths, and the lungs have been a little bit spasmy, this can trigger coughing. But the coughing that we may have been experiencing may also have contributed to tightening the chest and the ribs down. So you'll want to lie here. My suggestion would be like 3 to 5 minutes maybe, and just enjoy this as a time of quiet relaxation. And you're just going to let your breath be completely normal, whatever that means. So you don't need to affect any kind of style of breathing practice. And in fact, with this kind of hazardous, unhealthy air we've been breathing, you might choose to keep your breath a little shallow, purposefully, and just let the muscles and the connective tissue around the chest and the heart softly open on their own. And something else that often occurs with this kind of congestion and the act of repeated coughing, the forehead can be a little bit achy. So if you have an eye pillow, that's something you can use to help here. You can also just fold up a t-shirt into a long rectangle, and when you place that prop, start on your forehead and sort of drag the skin down toward your eyebrows and your eyebrows toward your eyes, and then put the prop, the shirt or the eye pillow, down so that there's an encouragement of the eyebrows to relax away from the hairline. And even if you don't have a prop over your eyes, just imagine this. Let your eyebrows relax down away from your hairline. Let your eyes soften back in the sockets. And imagine a widening from the center of the forehead and the bridge of the nose out to the sides, like the eyes are moving slightly away from each other, the inner corners of the eyes releasing from the bridge of the nose. One of the things that we're experiencing right now, beyond this difficulty with breathing, is a little bit of grief and loss of the way we know things to be certainly loss of life on lots of levels. And the lungs and the heart, this is the area in the body that we often associate with holding those emotions. So if lying here starts to bring some sadness or grief up for you, nothing's wrong, you're okay. If you feel that you need help with that, you can always reach out to a friend or a professional. If it's minor, you can just maybe open the eyes slightly, take the eye pillow off so it's just not too intense for you. We don't want to re-trigger anything here. So just know that you're not alone in feeling a little bit trapped and stuck and heavy with this contraction of intensity. If you can stay with it, stay with it. If it's too much, just come out of the pose or open your eyes. Instead of re-triggering yourself. And take just another few moments to really try to relax on the prop. Just let the body be completely restful. The chest and the heart and the lungs too. Maybe just let go a little more. You can stay longer if you want to. Just pause the video or come back later. Let it play. We're going to begin to prepare to transition into our second shape here. You're going to try to do this with as little disruption as possible, and what I would suggest, if you can, is to not even really sit up. Just take the prop on the eyes away, set it nearby, you'll want it again in a moment, remove the blanket or pillow from under your head, and then lift your hips and slide yourself onto the prop. And what you're going to do is keep sliding. You can even move the prop down, but you're going to place the end of the bolster or pillow right in your upper back behind your heart. Now, the best height would be where your shoulders, when they curl back, you're in still a little bit of a back bend, are on the floor. So this is a version of bridge pose. You can keep the feet on the floor straddling the bolster, and this is different than the bridge pose when you just have a block under your pelvis. So what's different here is that we're kind of forcing the same shape, or really force isn't really the right word, but supporting the same opening in the chest that we had before. So instead of you holding the chest open actively, let the prop do that for you. Again, if you want to cover your eyes, you can, and I would suggest starting with the prop, like the pillow at your forehead, dragging it down toward your eyebrows, and then putting the weight of it on your eyes. Rest your hands out to the sides or wherever's comfortable for you. And the energy that this one will cultivate is a little different than the last one because the head is lower. It's going to be a little more quieting. And it's going to lean more on the side of nourishing the throat and the lymphatic system that's in the throat here by kind of making that one of the low points. So again, we're just going to rest quietly and really try to let ourselves be held in the support of this yoga bolster. Three to 5 minutes, perhaps longer. I wouldn't go more than about 10 minutes. should feel like you're not holding yourself up at all. It's doing all the work, and you can really just release all the stress, all the protective tension. I know so much of that has been carried in all of our bodies lately. There's just so much coming at us. Just try to let that outer shell soften. And if the tears come, or anger rises, or grief, just see if you can allow it to flow through. If it becomes too much, just pull yourself back out by opening the eyes, looking around in the room, coming back to the present moment, or even getting out of the posture if you need to. Often the coughing can really tighten muscles around the mid-back, front and back actually. So see if you can let that band of kind of where your diaphragm sits, if that can ease at all. You don't need to force it, but soften around your throat and inside your mouth. Let the jaw relax, top and bottom teeth separating. And again, the eyes just kind of settling back. You really set these poses up well for yourself. You'll just not want to move. You'll be really comfortable. And that's actually a good sign. That's kind of the sign it's working. So if you have fidgeting, one part of that might be that you need to get more comfortable in the position, like readjusting your body or props. Another might be sort of a mental or emotional agitation. If that's the case, sit with it if you can. But again, don't re-trigger yourself, right? Stay on a manageable level. Let's just stay a few more moments here in this version of Setu Bandha. And again, you can stay longer, of course. But if you're ready to move, just release that eye pillow and maybe just blink your eyes open for a moment. And then don't sit up straight, just roll over to your side. Pause there, kind of like the fetal position. And when you're ready to sit up, you'll push with your hands and roll your head up last. Well, thank you so much for practicing today, and I hope that can help you with whatever emotional or physical distress you might be feeling. See you next time.